velocity, get a grip of yourself. Found a mosaic, you can't just dig it. It's got to be done properly. That looks like the lining of an oven. There's evidence of cooking here. This is exactly like the burnt loaves at Pompeii.
Hello, I'm Flavia. I'm the chief slave at the Bancroft Roman villa. So I'm going to show you how to make some Roman bread, some panis quadratus. You are going to need certain equipment. So let me show you what you're going to need. You're going to need a board. You're going to need 2 bowls and some scales. You're going to need a measuring jug, a teaspoon, a wooden spoon for stirring, a spatula and a palette knife. You're also going to need some twine or string and some scissors, some oven gloves, something to cover the dough with, a baking tray to cook your bread on, and a cooling rack for when it's finished. We're going to start by weighing the ingredients. Now, in ancient Roman times, we use yeast that looks like this. It's called sourdough, or leaven as they used to call it. These days you can buy very convenient yeast in packets. We have some tepid water, we have some olive oil, salt, 3 types of flour. So I've got some white flour, some wholemeal flour, and some spelt flour. So I'm going to start weighing those out now. And I'm also going to add half a teaspoon of salt. Then I'm going to get some warm water, tepid water. So in there I'm going to pour 1 sachet of yeast. Stir it up till it's all dissolved. And then we're going to add it gradually to our flour mix. So just add it fairly slowly and mix it in with your flours. So our dough is all nicely mixed, and I'm just pouring a little bit of oil onto the board where I'm going to knead my dough. So I'm going to turn the dough out onto the board, on the oiled board. And the next thing we have to do is to knead it. After about 10 minutes, your dough is beginning to look more like a bowl and you should be able to pick it up. I've put a little bit of oil in the bottom of this bowl here. I'm going to pop my dough into this bowl on top of the oil, and I'm going to leave it to rise for about 1 hour. After 1 hour of waiting, you'll see that my dough has risen to almost double its size. Now it's time to shape the bread. I'm going to take the dough out of the bowl where it's risen. So I've oiled my board again. I'm going to now oil the tray, the baking tray. This is the tray that we're going to cook it on. So a little bit of oil on the tray. That'll stop the bread sticking, and we'll pop a little bit of flour on there as well. Give it a little bit of a mix around, not too much. Once it's in a nice shape, we can put the ball on our cooking tray. Now, one thing that the Romans always did, they tied a piece of string or twine around the edge of the bread. Just tie it round the outside of it, squeeze it a little bit, and then we're just going to cover that again and leave it for 1 more hour. Well, look at this. Hasn't that risen beautifully? So I'm going to take the cover off, ready to pop it in the oven. Now, before I turn the oven on, I'm going to put a little bowl of water in the oven. That helps to steam the bread. I'm going to turn the oven on now to 220 degrees, or if you've got a gas oven, it's gas mark 7. While it's heating up, we're going to do something else. On the bread that's risen, we are going to divide it using the palette knife into 8 pieces by doing 4 slashes across the top. That's why it's called a panis quadratis. Panis means bread and quadratis means 4. So I'm doing 4 slashes, and when this comes out of the oven, you'll be able to see the nice pattern that that's made. I'm also going to do something else that the Romans used to do, and that is to put a special mark on it, to seal it, to say that I made it. Oven gloves on, because the oven's hot now, and we're going to pop it in the oven. The oven's been on for 25 minutes, and I think it's time to take our bread out. I've got my oven gloves on. Pop it on your cooling rack. This will be lovely for the banquet tonight. And there we have our finished Roman bread, panis quadratis.
Oh, Nemesis. You're not my real mum. Of course, I had her killed, didn't I? Not today, Centurion. She's making us serve the proles. I don't like this brand of vengeance.
I do not understand these modern grid roads.